Hi, I'm Kelsey, and this is Rebecca, and we're the co-founders of Orange Marketing. And in this series, we're talking about building a sales pipeline. And in our last video, we spoke about some of the important factors to consider when trying to understand how fast you can build a sales pipeline. And today, we're going to talk a little bit about some examples, particularly of clients that have had it go relatively smoothly and quickly.
The first factor we'd like to talk about is budget. And the founders of the companies we work for don't have a ton of money, but we want to be really frank with you about how much money they do have. In order to get traction with their pipeline, they usually have, the ones that we see getting traction, have $20,000 to $30,000 to $35,000 a month to spend between their marketing FTEs as well as on their paid media, their earned media, etc. And they have to be willing to invest a little bit of money across channels and on manpower to execute their initiatives, such as with content and events, or they really won't get anywhere without it, frankly. So we like to see them have like 30, 35,000.
For example, for a lot of SaaS companies, these certain kind of review sites, and we'll talk about that in a future video, some of these review sites can have cost per lead programs or cost per click programs that can cost you up to a couple of $100 a lead. And that seems like, oh, great, we can just get a couple of $100 into this thing and get leads. But by the time they all really convert, you really need to spend $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 to get any meaningful number of leads.
Mm-hmm. So the second factor we want to talk about is the engagement between sales and marketing.
So they really need to work together. Right? So you can't, in the 21st century, you really can't have one without the other. So in our clients that are working really well together, we have regular marketing meetings, as HubSpot calls them, and we do too, because it's kind of a cute term. And
it is cute.
And it is the combination. And we talk about what's working and what's not working. The sales team will ask marketing, what's coming. And the marketing will ask sales team what?
How did you like the leads? What did you think about it? How are you feeling about the leads you're getting?
Yeah, and how sales reps feel about the leads really is important. So if they feel like it's junk, we need to do a couple of things. We need to research whether that's true. And if it's true, we need to make adjustments to the program. We also need to get them to not just tell us that they think it's junk, but they need to actually mark it in the CRM so that we can have some data that we can optimize against.
And another factor with sales and marketing working together, and this is a key success factor, and we really do tell people this over and over again, is having an inside sales team or a BDR type person who's calling through the leads immediately. We need people to call them literally within a half an hour or less of them coming in to successfully convert them. That's a key success factor, having an inside sales team that feeds qualified leads to outside sales.
Believe it or not, we have actually had clients who have called and asked, this sales rep asked an actual question, which was, I got this lead, what do I do with it? So one of the other success factors is having multiple channels sending leads, and we're having success with adding multiple pancakes onto the pancake stack, and at some point all of them contribute to an acceleration of leads. And if you think about it, like each one of them has their own trajectory, and at some point they hit an inflection point where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So clients that are doing a good job have a real variety of channels going on at one time. So if they have search, it might be on more than one search engine. If they're doing paid promotion on social, it might be on more than one social media. If they're doing review sites, it's on more than one review site. If they're working with trade publications, it's more than one trade publication. And when you start getting all of those coming together, there is truly like a whole is greater than the sum of its part kind of effect.
Kelsey, I've got a question for you. So once you get all the channels going, do they all continue to produce at the same rate, or do things change?
Oh my gosh, yeah, things change. So you can never rely on one channel working forever. So they definitely can ebb and flow. And furthermore, each channel has a different amount of scalability. So some of them, bottom of the funnel types of tactics, for example, search, right? There's only so many people searching to buy software X at any given time. And so there's not going to be more of them unless something changes in the market drastically. So that's why you keep having to add other things onto the pancake stack, just because they ebb and flow, and some might be more scalable than others.
It's shocking. One month Google AdWords is doing great for your team. The exact same campaign just bottoms out the next month, and you have no idea what happened. So you constantly have to keep eyes on it, which brings us to another subject about
metrics.
Is metrics. And metrics are so important. And not to slightly brag, but we will just for a second, we have been told more than once that we're an unusual group, that we bring metrics directly to our customer. We force them to look at it every month, and we're insistent on this process that they look at the metrics with us by channel, and we all interact and see what's doing well and what's not doing well. So metrics are super important to tweaking your model and making it work better.
Yeah, so despite what you've been led to believe, marketing is more than t-shirts and posters, and it really can be measured. So especially in the 21st century, we really want to measure leading and lagging indicators, and we want to make our adjustments accordingly, depending on where we are in the cycle. So we want to start with how much are we attracting, then we want to see how much we're converting, and eventually we want to start to optimize our programs based on what we're actually closing and the revenue associated with those closes. So it just is a adjustment on the measurement as we go down the life cycle of your funnel, but you got to measure everything along the step of the way, and that absolutely includes in-process management of the sales activities that are taking place. So your sales manager should be tracking how many phone calls, how many emails, how many meetings are taking place, and many other metrics as it relates to sales activities.
Yeah. Seems Machiavellian, but we do recommend it, and our best customers succeed because of it. And our final factor, our key success factor, is our management involvement in the marketing and sales process. And Kelsey, I think you have a real good example right now of a client that's successfully generated a pipe after 6 months. And
so the CEO is incredibly involved, keeps very detailed track of what's going on with all of the campaigns, comes up with his own ideas, but is ready to let everybody do their expert work. But incredibly involved in keeping a close eye on the activities. And it makes it fun for us because we all are working together and we all have a common goal.
And we're going to give you a special magic number. How long did it take the CEO to start getting traction on his pipeline?
Well, I mean, there was definitely, early signs that things were going well, but around the 6th or 7th month is when they actually really acknowledged that things were humming along, and we had a little bit of high five moment.
Good job.
So in our next video, we're going to talk about these same success factors, but the times that they are getting in the way. So what we need to do to remove barriers to these success factors. So stay tuned.